Hi everybody, Golden Era Bookworm here. Today we continue with Mike Mentzer's Golden Era series and Principles of Heavy Duty Training, an abbreviated method of progressive resistance training focusing on gradually increasing intensity with the goal of achieving maximum muscle growth in the shortest amount of time possible. Now the focus of today's video is Mike Mentzer's heavy duty specialization routine for the back, especially if it is a lagging body part. What I love about this routine is Mike's methodical approach to training the back. You can really see his passion for training the back. Believe it or not, the back was Mike's favorite body part. And why? Well, because as he puts it, when properly developed, the back has beautiful detail, lots of intricate detail from all the different muscles that can be trained. And it's clearly reflected in his routine, which we're going to go through today. Now, Mike really uses a term that I really enjoy in his book, and it's called anatomical ignorance. And he states it beautifully, and I'll just read a passage. Certainly no serious bodybuilder with competitive aspirations would neglect the development of the back. Where many young bodybuilders do err, however, is in neglecting to learn the anatomy of this structure. Absolutely, he puts it very clearly. The back is just not the traps and the lats, which are very clear in this wonderful back double biceps pose by Mike Mentzer. But it's those little muscles like the rhomboids, the teres, the infraspinatus, etc., that really add to the detail and the wowing effect, as he puts it, which really catch the audience's attention. This is why, like, even nowadays, everybody knows the bodybuilding competition shows are won from the back. It's the detail there that really enhances the physique of the competitor, and he blames a lot of lack of development on this anatomical ignorance. Now, of course, Mike Mentzer's approach to training the back involves heavy-duty style principles, such as pre-fatigue, where one uses an isolation movement prior to a compound movement to truly tax the part and to achieve what he calls exhaustion of all three strength levels. The exercise should be performed in a controlled manner using a slow, deliberate fashion of 2 seconds on the concentric and 3 seconds on the eccentric. Finally, of course, with more advanced trainees, he recommends that you train to failure with the use of negatives. Now, I don't want to go through all the heavy-duty principles because I've done this in previous videos, which will be linked to the description on this video below. However, I really want to emphasize the order of the exercises that Mike has selected and placed in his routine, because to me it makes a lot of sense. Firstly, before going through his routine, I'd just like to add that he actually trains his back with delts and biceps, and it makes a lot of sense. The delts and both the biceps are of course taxed during back training, as can be imagined. Now, when we start with his first superset of straight arm pull downs, being an isolation movement, it is followed immediately with a close grip supinated pull down, and it makes sense. Again, this is a typical pre-fatigue technique where the straight arm pull down, having the arms locked out and purely using the latissimus, would exhaust, as he puts it, pre-exhaust the lats, and then using a close grip supinated pull down, which, as he puts it, puts the biceps in their strongest position, especially supinated. So it's a close grip supinated pull down. The bicep is at its strongest position and can assist in the complete exhaustion of the lats, and that's a fantastic superset performed for 2 cycles. This is followed by barbell rowing, a staple in the development of the back, and he puts it especially for working the upper inner back, and it should be worked very, very hard but not too heavy, only for 2 sets. Finally, and this is what I'm sure a lot of people are going to go, hang on, training traps is delts. Well, at the end of the day, he's training delts on the same day, so it doesn't really matter. But this is his opinion that shrugs are the upper back. I also agree with that, and that, again, using the heavy-duty principles of pre-exhaustion, he uses shoulder shrugs as they are a very good isolation exercise for the trapezius, followed by upright rows, which again involves the biceps. Again, shrugs, you would have your arms in a completely straight position, and so you'd only be using the traps. Whereas with upright rows, because it's a multi-joint motion, it is a compound exercise and is a wonderful exercise to use to completely exhaust the trapezius muscle after being pre-exhausted with the isolation movement of the shrugs. Again, this superset is performed for 2 cycles. As with other specialization routines, because you are specializing in a certain muscle group, the other body parts should be maintained using a basic heavy-duty protocol. If you're going to ask how much weight do you use, you would use a weight that you could perform at least 6 strict reps with. If you can do more, you do, until you reach you reach failure of the concentric level of strength, and then continue with negatives to completely exhaust the static and eccentric level of strength. Now, one thing I found very interesting from looking at this particular routine was the lack of the Nautilus pullover, which wasn't necessarily in his routine. I'm assuming that he incorporated it perhaps later on, or just decided not to in this particular booklet. Nevertheless, here's an awesome shot of Mr. Intensity himself. I think actually the previous photo I have in the previous slide of him performing those supinated pull downs is awesome. I mean, this is why he's known as Mr. Intensity. His face, I mean, he's just like gonna explode from the effort. It's fantastic. Squeezing out those final reps. That's what I like about Mike Mentzer. He really trained, balls to the wall. Absolutely fantastic way of training. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't to the Golden Era Bookworm. Leave me a comment. Thank you for watching. And if you'd like to donate, please check out my PayPal details in the description for a donation. I will end this video as well as I did with my previous one with a ad for Vince's Secret Locker, a fantastic book. I own both of them, volumes 1 and 2, with some awesome information on Vince Gironda if you're interested in Golden Era methods. Alright, that's it for me. Golden Era Bookworm. Bye for now.